with 5 seconds. He's going to throw it. Howard leaps. He has it. Touchdown. Carolina back from the dead to tie the game with 2 seconds to go. Snap back, spot down. The kick is cleanly away. It is good.
And
Nick
it's
Weiler with a
Yes, sir.
54-yard field goal. And how about them Tar Heels? They do it.
Here's Kupak. Gives off to Amos. He's got it. He's got it. Unbelievable. Unreal.
Jordan back to kick. It's blocked again. Picked up. It'll be a touchdown, Carolina, for Bracey Walker. He blocks his second punt and scores his second touchdown of the season. It's 14-13. Mr. Jordan meet Mr. Walker. Bernard fields it at the 26. Heading to the far side. Gio at the 35. Gio, he's at the 50. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Gio, he's going to take it for a touchdown. Are you kidding me?
This is the Heel Tough Blog Podcast on Spreaker.com.
Hey guys, and welcome into this edition of the Heel Tough Blog Podcast. It's Anthony back here with you guys, chilling out, talking some Tar Heel football here today. And of course, as we know, the team got back into spring camp yesterday, and we are talking to the Argyle Report, Sam Doughton, about everything that is going on with the team. And we had a couple of questions that we wanted to ask him. So Sam, first of all, I know, you were talking to us, it's been a little bit of a crazy time on campus. So, just the vibe overall on campus, what is it like right now with spring football being back, and you got really a lot of energy around the team, and of course the Tar Heels now heading to the NCAA tournament on the basketball court?
Well, I think safely to say that the student pulse is entirely with the basketball team at the moment, but the football team's doing everything they can to grab a little bit of that momentum. I know Luke May was at practice yesterday. Mac Brown obviously was, I believe he coached Luke's dad at some point in time with the UNC's football team. And so, Luke at the basketball presser yesterday called Mac a family friend. And so, Mac's doing everything he can to seize a little bit of that momentum, brush up against the basketball program when he can. He's been out at halftime at every home basketball game since then. But in general, everyone's excited. March is the best time to be on campus at UNC, in my opinion. There's always a lot going on. Last year, obviously, was a disappointment with the team going out the first weekend, but I think everyone here feels like the basketball team's got a really good chance to go far. Women's basketball team made it back to the tournament for the first time in, I believe, 5 years this year. So we got both teams in the NCAA tournament at the same time. It's just really, really exciting. And, with the new football facility open, the football team's getting a little bit of that vibe, too.
Yeah, and of course, everything, I think revolves around the new energy that is around the team. I know you've been out there a few times to see them practice. Just what's the difference? Because we heard a little bit of this last year that they had a renewed energy, but it really just kind of seemed to fade as they got towards the season. What's different with this team?
One thing is I have not been out to practice as much as I would like to because their practices counteract directly with my schedule time. I'll need to contact Mac next semester and let him know what my class schedule is for practice time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but I think the general vibe around this team is there's just a renewed sense of confidence. I think Mac and his staff have a lot of confidence in what they've done. I think you look at their reputations, and in particular, he's brought back a lot of the old faces that's been on his staffs at Texas and even back at as far back as North Carolina. They've had a lot of success with, and I think these people really want to show they have a lot of success. I think the players know that they've had a lot of success and therefore have a lot of confidence in some of the changes the coaches are making and a willingness to work. And I don't think the personnel necessarily is there for some of the things they want to do right now. And so I think that's some sort of interesting aspect. But as far as effort, as far as wanting to do well, I think that's it's just a whole new vibe and a whole new energy, like you said, energy around what they're doing everything with a sense of purpose, and knowing that whatever your old role is, there's no guarantees with a whole new staff in, so you got to really prove yourself again. And I think a lot of people have embraced that. I think that's, something fun, adds a little bit of extra competition spring ball. And, you see it in the videos the football team puts out every day. There's a lot of competition, a lot of energy every single day.
Well, one of the guys that you see in every single video is Brian Hess. He's a guy that comes in as the strength and conditioning coach. You mentioned that really they don't have a lot of guys that maybe fit exactly what they need. But, maybe by just talking to the players or maybe something that you've seen, what is Brian Hess doing to try to get these guys, in the right mindset and at least trying to aim them towards being able to fit in that system?
Well, one thing Max said a lot about Hess's work is that Hess is really trying to train each individual position group to fit what a position group needs. I think a lot of times when you get in strength and conditioning, there's a lot of, just general build your body up and, make yourself strong. And you're going to get value with that. But one thing this new staff's really emphasizing, and one thing Hess is really emphasizing, is training individual positions so that they are the strongest for what they need to do out on the football field. Training football players, not just training strong people. And I think that's something you're seeing. He's added a lot more flexibility in there. I know he wants to really open up the weight room. I've heard that there's plans, at least preliminary talks, to try to remodel it to make it a bit more open concepts. There's more space. Hess likes to do a lot of stretching exercises in between lifting and all that other stuff to sort of get, a more dynamic build there, a little more flexibility in the strength that the players have. When you bulk up, sometimes you can sort of reduce your flexibility, and that can hurt other aspects on the field, particularly your speed. And so that's something I think I mentioned there. Max wants to go fast with that air raid offense, and he wants the defense to be able to compete with a lot of the spread offenses that are in college football now. And he needs some speed and he needs some flexibility to do that. And I've been impressed with Max's ability. He sort of comes in as an old school coach, and everyone's worried that he's going to try to coach football like it's 2009 again. But I really haven't seen that so far, and I think this new staff really understands what college football is about now and what they need to do to get that team to the level where they can get there. And like you said, they're going to need to recruit a little bit more to get maybe some guys that better fit their concepts. But for working with what they have now, they're doing a great job.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the new defensive scheme. It's really a 3-4 base, but, I was talking to Lee Pace last week, and he kind of told me, they are still going to go with a lot of slot corner looks. They're going to go with 3 cornerbacks, 5 defensive backs most of the time. But, from being out there, what is the difference between this defense and the defense that we saw a year ago? I mean, I know there's going to be some different pass rushing techniques and stuff like that, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the biggest thing that we're going to have to look out for is, that the one thing that they've been emphasizing is that Jay Bateman puts the best players on the field and uses them to the best of their ability. So you're going to see different units that have a lot of strength coming at you in different ways. I think the defensive line is still going to be one of the strongest units on the defense again this year. So they have the most talent returning, even if it doesn't exactly fit that 3-4 base you mentioned. But you might see some defensive ends come in standing up rather than in a 3-point stance or something like that when they're making the pass rush there. Obviously, a lot of those 5 defensive back looks just come out of straight necessity of running against these spread offenses. But I think the multiple look is going to be interesting, particularly as you see a linebacker corps this week, or particularly Jonathan Smith being out of school this semester. Sort of trying to figure out what pieces fit there. They've lost a lot of talent at that position. Figuring out who's going to fill in at safety positions and other things like that, who's going to come up on those sort of things. So I'm interested to see how the battles go down in there. And I think it's too early to really tell what's going to happen in those situations, but I think they're going to just try to see who the best personnel is, and however the best 11 fits on the field, that's who they're going to put out there.
Well, you talked about some of those battles that'll be going on in camp. I know on the defensive side there were a few that I looked at. What are some of the under-the-radar battles that you're really looking at throughout camp that you think people should keep an eye on, maybe even extending over into the fall?
Well, Anthony, I'm an offensive guy, so I always like to look at the offensive side of the ball and see where things are going. And I'm really intrigued to see which running back comes out of, the sort of four-headed group they have right now in this new air raid offense. Mac Brown keeps claiming that they're going to run the ball hard, and even though they are running a lot of air raid concepts. But I'm curious to see if someone who maybe has more of a reputation of the pass catcher, somebody like Jordan Brown, sort of steps up because it fits maybe more what they're doing. How does Antonio Williams fit in with sort of that spread concept? Does Javonte Williams get more of a run? Michael Carter obviously is pretty versatile and can do a lot of different things. And so that's, I think, the most talented group coming back. That's the group I'm most intrigued to see on the field, and most intrigued to see how Phil Longo uses them. I think another, maybe not so much under the radar, but one everyone needs to look out for is wide receiver. Obviously lost a lot of talent there. Anthony Williams, the number 1 head for the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. And they just moved Corey Bell over from cornerback to wide receiver because Mac Brown says, we need depth there. They're going to be running a lot of 3-wide, 4-wide concepts, and you need a lot of wide receivers to do that to keep people, energized, keep people fresh. And so figuring out who those at least 3, if not 4 guys and where they put them on the field at a given time. Is Bo Corral's always going to be on the outside because he has that height, or they're going to stick him inside and maybe put someone faster on the outside. So sort of, matchups like that I think are very interesting heading forward.
And, on the defensive side, I think really the battles might be more for who's able to establish some depth. It seems like there are some good starters in place, but there are some defensive depth concerns. Early on in camp, are those concerns relevant, or do you feel like, there are some guys that are really stepping up and might be able to ease those as we get closer to the season?
It's hard to tell in spring ball, particularly because a lot of the injuries that UNC is dealing with right now are on the defensive side of the ball. So a lot of the players that you think would be providing some depth to those positions or might even potentially be starting just, aren't even working out right now because of who they've just because of the upper extremity or lower extremity injuries that they have. I think that's just something they're just going to have to try to develop over the summer. I think depth really comes in the summer. Spring ball, I think, is where you really assess, what your first 22 probably are. And hopefully by the end of spring, you've got, 18 of those guys, solidify, and then you got another 4 or 5 that you're going to have battles, going in through summer camp to figure out. And then, from there, you just get the depth and you get people, the past will have, had months of training rather than, weeks of training to get the guys into the system he wants. And I think, people embracing the opportunities ahead of them are going to be the biggest key there. Obviously everyone's intrigued on what Chaz Surratt's going to do at linebacker. He's bulked up a ton. I think that could be an interesting depth piece on the defensive side. Obviously there's a lot of young cornerbacks that didn't really get a huge chance last year that I think could have a lot of varied movements with the sort of the changes they have in the secondary all across the field. But, it's just something we're going to have to see. I think it's a little bit early to tell with any of these battles, particularly with the depth, because, I think someone has a great summer working out, staying in class and doing summer classes and doing other things here. Things can change very, very quickly.
And so the last question, and then we'll get you out of here. And we have to ask about this because, it's been 3 off seasons since we've really had, a time where we can talk about this comfortably because though we did have a battle, we pretty much knew Mitch Trubisky was our guy and he locked it up in the spring. It's not going to happen again this year. It's going to be the 3rd straight year where it's probably going to extend over into the fall. But there are some people saying early on that there might be a little bit of separation. The redshirt freshmen, both Cade Fortin and Jace Ruder, really have looked pretty good. And some people are saying that Sam Howell early on is having a little bit of, true freshman struggles, picking up some of the nuances of the offense and everything like that. Is that maybe what you're seeing? And right now, I hate to do this, but, if someone turned your arm and said, hey, you got to give us your prediction for who's going to start on August 31st right now, who would you go with?
I would go with Cade Fortin because, what I've been hearing is that Fortin has been excelling at a slightly higher rate than both Ruder and particularly Howell. I don't think Mac has been particularly pleased with the play of any of them. If I'm being honest, I remember he said yesterday that there's been way too many interceptions for his and Phil Luongo's, preference in the way their offense is. That makes some sense. Air raid's simple once you understand what you're doing, but it takes a while to understand how those concepts work together. And so, and work in some inexperienced receivers not running routes as crisply as you may have liked at that point, you're going to have some miscommunications. And so, but I think Fortin's just has the familiarity of being the guy for, even if it was 2 or 3 games last year. And he has the arm talent that maybe Ruder doesn't have. Ruder's probably a little bit better runner. But, when they're not going to need the quarterback to run the ball in this offense all that much. They're going to need somebody that's going to make quick decisions, that's going to be accurate, that's going to be able to stretch the field. And, that fits Cade Fortin's profile. I think Howell's probably going to be a little more versatile and probably will have, the more overall talent. But he's got to learn the offense fast. And that's just tricky, even when you are an early enrollee. And, maybe in the summer it'll click for him, and then it'll be a lot closer competition. That's what I would hint at it probably happening. I think you can relate to this, Anthony. Your first semester in college, you're just getting adjusted to, what classes are like, what it's like, studying, what it's like taking tests and other things. And, sometimes, particularly for student athletes, it can be a little tricky when you're trying to figure that out all together. So I'm not worried about Howell's progress. I think if you ask me, if they had to start somebody right now, it'd be Cade Fortin, with a little more experience right now, and I think it's showing. But there's still plenty of time, and I think that's the biggest emphasis I want to bring here is that there's plenty of time for all these battles to sort themselves out, and it's, things can change very, very quickly over the summer months, and even over spring ball. We might be talking here on April 14th after the spring game and have a totally different read of the situation. So,
right.
We'll just have to see.
Right, yeah, exactly, and you're right about that. I've followed Sam for 4 years, when throughout high school, and it's just going to take probably a little bit of time. You're right, getting settled into the classes and everything. It's not the easiest thing, and believe it or not, folks, the NCAA athlete life is not like the video that they put out the other day, which is just getting a ton of flag. Is that what your college life is like, or I mean?
I guess it's I play a club sport here at UNC, so I guess it's a little similar to that in that regard. I think that was my favorite comment. I was when I said this must be an intramural sport athlete. But yeah, these college athletes, they're waking up at 5 a.m. to go to a 6 a.m. lift, and then in these situations, Max got practice from 9 to 11, so then they'll go to practice, and then they'll go to class, and then they'll come back and go to study hall. And then they'll get to home, and then they'll finally get a chance to get some dinner. And then they'll have to study some more, and then they'll go to sleep, and they'll wake up and lift again, and do it just all over. And then, in season, it's wake up, lift, go to class, get out of class, grab a quick bite to eat, team meetings, then you got practice, then you have mandatory study hall, then might get a chance to eat at some point. And so it's just, they never stop. They never stop.
Right.
And that video, they're like, oh, we got time to go in the library and visit with friends. No, you don't. Your friends are your teammates. and that's all they have time for. And, it's by design, and that's what they signed up for. And I think a lot of them will tell you that they enjoy that grind. But it's definitely not easy.
Right, for sure. So, hey, Sam, thanks for stopping by and talking to us, man, giving us a little insight on spring camp. Right now, I think everybody's just excited about what this Tar Heel team can possibly do come the fall, and we'll definitely be talking to you down the line. It's great to have you back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I leave, one thing I do want to mention is one under-the-radar thing I think is happening is that Mac is trying to get a lot of things done on like a facility side very, very quickly. I think he's trying to capture some of that excitement. He's mentioned he's wanting to remodel the locker rooms, add stuff like outlets to the players' lockers, as well as some sort of cooling system for their pads. I mentioned there's rumors that he's going to try to put turf on Keene Stadium over the summer, and so I think that's just something to keep an eye on. Obviously he's asking the Rams Club for all this money, so he's not pulling money from anywhere else. And if you can get that money, power to him, all for it. But I think I would caution people to wait and see how the team does. It's easy to get hyped when they haven't played a down of competitive football yet about where things are going. And so, I don't know, I'm just interested to see, because I think he's got a lot of, sort of the donor base on his side right now, and for good reason. I think he's generated a lot of excitement and shown a lot of enthusiasm and, had a really good, particularly on the recruiting trail, for 4 or 5 months on the job. But, something to keep an eye on, particularly, after they just opened this really gorgeous, really great practice facility. And, maybe UNC is going to start competing with some of these bigger schools in the facility game coming up back and, keep the momentum going.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, he has been off to a fantastic start, as you mentioned, on the recruiting trail. Currently the 14th ranked class, according to 24/7 Sports, in the 2020 class. And, it seems like right now a lot of people are starting to take a little bit of a look at what he's doing there. Grandpa Mac, I think, is getting things going in the right direction. So, yeah, Sam, hey, thanks for joining us, man, and we will definitely have to talk to you down the line. Tell everybody where they can follow you on social media in case they want to get more information.
Absolutely. We'll say you can follow me at SJ Doughton on Twitter. I'll be in Columbus this weekend. If you want to follow me and our photographer at Argyle Report, Alex Foreman, while we're covering, the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. It should be a great time. We'll leave here, bright and early on Friday morning, driving straight out there. And UNC, thankfully, is the late game, so Alex and I don't have to miss class. So it's going to be a great time. And, that'll be where I am, and then I'll be touching in and out of football on Twitter every once in a while. But yeah, at SJ Doughton. If you want to follow us at Argyle Report, at Argyle Report on Twitter as well. But Anthony, thanks as always for having me on. It's always been a blast.
All right, man. Yeah, same to you. And, stay safe on your drive up there. And, thanks for coming on and keeping us informed in this and so far in this spring. That's just so exciting for us. So.
Absolutely, Anthony. Y'all have a great one.
All right, you too, man. All right, so Sam Doughton of the Argyle Report. Want to thank him for stopping by with us here today to give you some information on the Tar Heels spring camp. And, of course, they will get going again tomorrow morning. You heard, as Sam said, they practice 9 to 11 in the mornings. So that is when tomorrow's practice will take place, and that will be the first of the final 11 practices of the season. The final practice of the season will be in Kenan Stadium on April 13th. That'll be the spring game presented by Bojangles. It's going to be a huge event, as Mac has talked about, and so we hope that everybody is able to make it out there to see the Tar Heels in action. It should be a fantastic day with a look at the new offense, the new defense, and some of the fantastic position battles. So, as always, you guys can check out the blog on HeelToughBlog.com. It's got its own website now. You can check out the podcast on the website as well, or if you want to listen through one of the normal podcasting websites, we got it on Spreaker, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn.com, the TuneIn app. It's all over the place. I mean, literally just about everybody has us now. So anywhere that you listen to podcasts is where you can find it. Also, head over to Medium.com. Check out the Roy's Boys blog. And you can check out, and the same locations as my podcast is on, the Roy's Boys podcast. All that stuff run by my buddy Josh Marlowe, who is usually with us. So, once again, want to thank Sam for stopping by. Want to thank you guys for listening. And as always, go Tar Heels.